Hey everybody, I'm back here with my good friend Rich Norton. How you doing today, Rich?
I'm excellent. Great to see your happy face.
As always, great to see you as well. And of course, Rich is out in the field selling payment processing as he does most days. And if he's not at the beach with his winners of contests and things of that nature, right, Rich?
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
So today we actually have a question from an agent. They emailed me and said, "Man, you need to ask Rich this question." So I'm like, okay. So here's the question. The question is, a lot of times merchants will question things like interchange, and they'll say, "Well, wait, what is interchange? How does that work?" Because I see that on my statement, or even just maybe other complex topics. How do you determine like how deep to go? How do you talk about these topics like interchange versus kind of keeping it simple?
That's a great question. See, what's amazing is that the people that we run into, in fact, I'll bring that up to a lot of merchants and I'll say, have you ever heard of interchange? And I'm going to say 90 something percent of the people will say, no, I don't even know what that is. And the reality is most people, they don't look at the statement. And as we know, like when I first came in, it was like, get a statement. That's all you got to do is break down that statement and,
Right.
uh, dissect it and get all the final numbers and everything and show them to the penny how much you're going to save them. But the bottom line now is many people don't get a statement. And even if they get a statement, they can't access the thing at all. And the thing that they look at is what comes out of their bank every month. And that's why a lot of people, and I'll get into that question. This is going to be my long answer. But
Yeah,
a
sure.
lot of a lot of people go out there and it's like, I can't write any deals unless I get a statement. And I think for me, 98% or 99% of the people, I never get a statement at all. Because when we walk into a business, I'll say, hey, look, tell me if this sounds familiar. Typical representative comes in, and the first thing that they're going to ask you is they want to see a statement. Why do they want to see a statement? Because they want to see how much you're paying, and then they're going to cut up a couple bucks off that. And to me, and every business tells me that's a waste of time. So what we do, if you want to see a statement, we'll show you one of ours. So we do the exact opposite. So if I'm going to talk to a merchant and kind of educate them, I'll let them know at the very least, I like to educate everybody on how the whole processing works when it comes to payment processing. Have you guys ever heard of the term interchange at all? And again, most people haven't. And I'll say, welcome to the club. You're in that 90 something percent club. Nobody's ever explained that. Well, interchange is whenever somebody comes in and they give you a card, whoever issued that card set up a processing fee and they set up a transaction fee. Debit cards being lower. And then when you get into credit cards, all these rewards cards, guess who gets to pay for all those points? You do as the business owner. So those processing fees are a little bit higher. Then you have a transaction fee. Then you have corporate cards. And then when you're manually keying in cards, it could be hundreds and hundreds of different types of interchange. And you could actually look it up. It's available for everybody. That is cost. Anybody that comes in here and tells you, I'm going to lower your interchange, one of two things. Either they don't know what they're doing, and that happens in many cases, or they're completely misrepresenting what interchange is. So whenever you see that statement, that on your statement, if you ever look at it, because most people don't get a statement, that's cost. The key is, and this is if we're presenting traditional processing,
Right.
you want to keep your fee as low as possible over that. And that's where we come in. Now, I can go through all of this, but the bottom line, Mr. Merchant, Joe Merchant, Mary Merchant, the bottom line is what is coming out of your account every month. And that's the most important number. Am I right? For example, in a typical month, what do you think you're doing on average in credit cards, would you say? And they might say, well, I'm doing 30,000 a month. Well, my experience with all the businesses I've been helping that have your same exact program, their monthly fee is about 900, 950, maybe a little bit more. Does that sound pretty accurate? Yeah, as a matter of fact, it was a little bit more. Well, let me show you a couple of our statements so you can see what the difference is compared to what you have right now and what it would be with us.
Hmm.
So I think the main thing is, and my long answer is keep it simple. A lot of times we go in, I was talking to one of our representatives yesterday, and I said, we do information overload. We
Mhm.
talk about so much to merchants, things that they don't really care about. And at the end, this is what he says. I have to think about it. Or, we
Mm.
don't make a big decision like this in one day. Well, why do they say that? Because we're making it sound like a big decision. So if we go on and on explaining and over explaining the inner dynamics of interchange and everything else, that flies right over the people's head. And at the end, they say, well, this sounds great, but do you have a card? I got to talk to my partner. We have to think about it. So it's important to keep it simple and understand is the most important thing is when you're talking to a merchant, you're building trust. You're explaining everything. You're getting them to like you. You have to show them how easy it is to do business with you.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, and I think that's so important because, like you said, if you're going after retail, restaurant, these businesses you're walking into, there's no interchange optimization for those of you that are familiar with that concept. It's like,
Correct.
if people are coming in and saying, well, I have a direct relationship with Visa and MasterCard, so I can lower that is like scam number one on the list, very, very
Exactly.
common. And so, yeah,
And
alerting
some
them to
of them
that.
have Visa shirts. And not to interrupt you, but I've seen representatives that go out with Visa shirts on. I'm from Visa. Okay, well, good
Wow.
luck with that one.
Good luck with that when you get sued by
Yeah,
Visa, right? So,
exactly.
really good stuff as always, Rich. For those who want to learn more about potentially joining your team, working with you in some capacity, where would you send them to learn more?
Absolutely. Please reach out to me. And as you can imagine, since we've done these videos, because you're so popular, it's not me, but since we've done all these videos, I'm getting tons of calls. And what's really resonating with everybody is I'm going to say most of them that call me up say, man, I just don't get the training. I want to learn this business. I want to be successful. And that's why I can't stress enough to join a team that's going to take you by the hand from day one, show you how to do the business. Don't get caught up in everything else. Learn how to write 10 merchants per month. That's what we're going to teach you. And then once you get to that level, we'll get to the next level and you're going to make a ton of money. And that's important to join a team that's going to teach you how to do that. And my philosophy is do exactly what we do. Everything that we're teaching is what we're doing in the field. I wrote 2 merchants today, 2 cold calls, drove 120 miles, came back. I got 2. I'm parked on the side of the road to talk with you. That's what we do every day, and I love it. So reach out to me, 904-434-4635, or you can email me at payrockrich.norton@gmail.com.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Rich. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate you.